Hey guys, welcome back to the Ambrant DIY series. In this video, we're going to show you how to strip, prepare and hang some new wallpaper. Now this stuff here is looking a bit old and tired. It's been on the walls for about 15 years. So we're going to strip it off. We'll show you how to prepare the walls ready to hang your new paper, and then we'll show you how to go about hanging the paper the correct way. You'll see a lot of videos, some people take some shortcuts, things like that. We're going to do it the right way, make it look tidy and professional, so you can easily do it yourself at home. Let's get into it. Right, so first things first, you're going to want to strip out the room as best you can. Clear it out, give yourself plenty of room to work. Worst case scenario, you're going to want to at least clear a couple of walls so you can get in there, do those, and then shift your furniture back into place. Secondly, you're going to want to take off any curtain rails or light switch fittings, power fittings, etc. like that. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. With the curtain rails, essentially you want to take them off so you're not papering around them. It's just too difficult. Much easier to take them off, do your paper, and then put them back up, as you'll end up with a much cleaner result. We'll show you how to do that in a minute. It's quite easy, and I'll also go through the power points or light fittings. As you can see, the paper's looking pretty tired. It's over the years had a few repairs done where it's been torn or scratched or ripped or whatever. The last wallpaper I didn't really do a very professional job either. All the joins are pretty bad, and he's put cuts in all sorts of weird places. You normally wouldn't do this, the top of the bottom of the windows like that. Normally you'd hang these in full pieces. So I'll show you how to do that, and it looks much tidier, much neater, much cleaner finish. Okay, so these curtain rails here, quite an easy system to take off. What you're going to want to do is get up under here, look for a screw like that, up under here. What you do is you take that out, and that will release the rail from the bracket, and then that'll give you access to the screw here. Take the brackets off the wall. It's the same at this end. So what we'll do is we'll get into that. We'll get these two stripped out, then I'll show you how to do a PowerPoint. Right, what you want to do with these PowerPoints is pull the pins out, and then just pull the screws out a little bit. We're just going to pull the PowerPoint just off the wall. We're not actually going to take it fully out today. So what you want to do is pop the plugs like that. You just pull them out. Now don't worry if you damage these or if they look horrible and yellow. You can buy new ones down at the hardware store. They're very cheap. It pays to often change them anyway as they start to go all horrible, and it sort of shows the age of a place with things like that. So what we'll probably do is replace those. Next up, we're just going to back the screws off a little bit, just so we can get just in behind it. Not enough so you can touch the wiring or get yourself electrocuted, but just so much so that we can get the old paper out from behind it. Now when it comes time to wallpaper, what we're going to do is we're going to isolate this room completely, turn off the power and the lights, and pull these right out off the wall so we can fit our paper nice and neatly around it. Quite often what a lot of people suggest you do is wallpaper straight over the top of it, press it into the edges, and then just cut around it with your knife, like so. Really not a professional job. Quite often, you can see the cuts and it doesn't look tidy at all. So we're going to show you the nice, tidy, professional way of doing it. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll just give you a quick close-up of stripping one piece of wallpaper, and then we'll move back as I strip the whole wall. Basically what you want to do is start at the bottom, down here somewhere, and pull the paper up towards the top. It seems to be much easier this way. So what you want to do is find a loose edge, and quite often either an old putty knife or a blade comes in handy, just to pick in behind the paper like so you can get to it. Right, and then just gently just pull it like this. Now, if it's bit in the sun, the paper can be quite brittle, so just treat it gently. Don't tear too hard, just constantly, like so. There you go, one full piece off. Alright, now with the backing paper, okay, so essentially what you've done is taken the front layer off. This is a vinyl based paper, a vinyl faced paper, so it's actually got vinyl on the front of it. That's the facing. As the backing paper is still stuck to the wall. We still want to remove this, as you'll get a better result if it's completely removed back to the jib board or to the painted sealed surface. So what we'll do after we've completely stripped off all the paper is we'll wet all this down. I'll run through the techniques of that shortly, and using a scraper essentially scrape it off. So we'll show you how to do that shortly. Now just remember, when you're working around PowerPoints, and you've got tools, don't jam them in behind there, okay, as if there are any exposed wires or any contact points, you can give yourself a good bolt, okay, you don't want that. All done. All done. So what I'll do now is I'll strip off the rest of the wallpaper in this room, and we'll show you the next step shortly. Alright guys, as you can see I've completely stripped the entire room of the wallpaper. So the vinyl facings are pulled off, and we've still got the backing paper left on the walls. Now what we're going to use to strip this off is we're going to wet it down. This is the method I normally use, just a 2-litre pump spray bottle. Basically pump it up, full of water, pump it up, and then spray it on. Just like that. Rub it in with your hand. As you can see, it's already starting to get fairly wet there. Other methods you can use are just a small Exolo cloth or a soft towel, cotton towel with water, or a paintbrush, or even a paint roller. Basically just fill your paint tray with water and pretend you're painting the wall with the water. Same process basically, just to get it wet enough. Doesn't hurt to have an old towel handy to collect any excess water dripping down near your skirting. Just remember not to get the wall too wet, otherwise you can damage the jib behind it. Otherwise the jib will go soft, and you don't want that. Alright. You basically just want to get it wet enough so the top layer is quite soft, and you can scrape it off. That layer is already starting to get ready. Essentially I wet it down enough and leave it for a couple of minutes and then scrape it off. Alright, now what I'll do is I'll just give you a quick demo of a patch here, then I'll give you a close-up. Rub it in with your hand. As you can see, it's already starting to bubble in a couple of places, which means it's basically ready to come off. As you can see, even just using my fingernail, it's able to come off. So what we'll do, from there, grab your paint scraper, or sorry, your paint knife, your filler knife, and it just comes off like that. Nice and easy. Okay, see, as soon as it gets to the dry area, it doesn't want to come off. Alright. There you go. Definitely helps if your walls are painted and sealed beforehand. Sort of more more modern feature rather than just wallpapering straight over the jib. It certainly helps. Right, just like that. Right, we'll give you a close-up now. Right, so as you can see, all's wet enough. Alright, it's been soaking for a couple of minutes. And what we do is we just simply scrape it off like that. Nice and easy. Alright. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can wet the entire piece down, and just like a sheet of wallpaper, the front facing, you can peel it from the bottom right to the top in one sheet. Mind you, it doesn't happen that often realistically. Other thing you want to be a little bit careful of, your power points. Of course, with the power still being on, water, they don't generally go together. So just be aware, don't spray too much water around them. You're best to get your cloth. Right, add a bit of water and soak it naturally like that. Okay, just do that a couple of times and it'll be wet enough to come off. Okay, just like that. Just don't get any water down behind the plug. Alright, so as you can see, we've stripped off the bottom layer of paper. It's looking good. We've got no big gouges or anything in the walls that we need to fill, although now's the time to do it. Get off any last little bits. Now I'm going to have a good clean up, strip the rest of the room off, and we'll show you how to size or prime the wall ready for the paper. Pretty easy job. We'll show you that next. Alright guys, we're back again. I've stripped off all the old paper off the walls, including the backing paper, given all the skirting boards a good wipe down and pulled off any little bits of paper I've missed off the walls. Giving the room a vac out, just make sure it's nice and tidy before we get on to the next step of priming or sizing the walls. So that's what we're going to do next. This is the stuff I use here, Sure Stick wallpaper size. Comes in a couple of different sizes. This box here, there's 16 rolls approximately. All you do is you mix it with water. Comes like, looks like that. It's almost like a bag of salt or something. And what you do is you just follow the instructions on the back. Mix it up according to them. In this case I need 5 litres of water for every 100 grams of granulated, so I need 10 litres of water for this box. When you mix it up and it mixes properly, make sure you don't have any lumps or anything in it. And it sort of comes out a little bit like the paste you used to use as a kid, for gluing. Sort of like flour and water mixed, or corn flour and water. It's sort of a gloopy sort of mixture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix that up, and then we'll throw some on the walls, just using a paint tray, brush and a roller, just as though you're painting the walls with primer or something like that. And once we've done that, we'll get into some wallpapering, show you how to do it. Alright, so when wallpaper size is all mixed up, ready to go, let's throw some on the wall. Cool. Well, it's our first coat of size on our first wall. What I'm going to do now is go do the rest of the walls in the room, and then we'll let that dry for at least 24 hours, and then we'll get on with the wallpapering. Alright guys, our sizing's nice and dry. We're ready to hang some paper. When you start papering in a room, generally you start from the furthest point away from the door. Hang your paper back to the door, and your final piece goes either behind the door or above it, basically to make it as less noticeable as possible. Essentially you want your last cut to be as tidy as you can, but you want it to be sort of hidden as well, so no one picks up on it. For the ease of this video though today, so I don't have to set up around a window, I'm going to show you in this corner, and I'll hang right the way around to the door from there. Now you first hang, what you normally do is you'll set up a plumb line, the width that you'll roll out from the wall, minus about 25 mil. So that 25 mil comes back around the corner here. That creates your first corner. You always set it with a plumb line so you get it nice and straight, so each sheet from then on looks true and nice and straight and hangs correctly, because your corners can be quite out of plumb. It's surprising how often a corner isn't true. So we'll show you how to set up that now, and we'll get into it. Alright, so I've measured my width of the wallpaper, the roll of the wallpaper, which is 525 millimeters. Now what that's going to allow me to do is I'm going to measure out from the wall, from the corner, 500 millimeters, and that's going to be my plumb line. That's going to be my plumb line. What this allows me to do is lap around the corner 25 mil. Okay. Now, when you set up this line, floor to ceiling, using either a level or a plumb bob. So what we're going to do is we'll mark that out, and then I'll show you how to set the corner up with the paper. Right, so I've drawn my plumb line on the wall from floor to ceiling. We're going to set up our first sheet to that, right the way down, so we get a nice true edge for the rest of our sheets to follow on from. Every time you do a corner, you come to a new corner or a new wall, you want to set up that plumb line for your first sheet. Very important, because it's quite amazing how often a wall is out of true or out of plumb, or even can be wavy, and you don't want that translating through your sheets of paper as you hang them. It becomes more difficult and it looks horrible. Something else to consider when hanging your first corner sheet, or hanging corner sheets in general, sorry, is your light source. Now, light source for this room, 2 windows and a light just up here, so everything's sort of coming this way. You want to consider your lap, which way your paper laps on the wall. I'll bring you in a minute. I've just cut a couple of sample pieces to sort of show you. This piece here is coming into the corner and around, and then this piece is over the top of it, and this is vice versa. So this piece here is coming around the corner, just to show you the difference, what the light source can do to your paper. You don't want it creating a shadow in the corner. It accentuates the corner and the lap then, and it can look a little bit annoying. It's something I've learned through my time in wallpapering. So I'll bring you in now and you can see. Right, so as you can see, with the light coming in the window, with this sheet coming around the corner and this sheet over the top of it, like so, you can see it's creating quite a shadow down that corner. You can actually see when the glue dries, you'll have a ridge down there like that. Whereas in this one here, got that piece coming around the corner, so our light's coming directly at it this way, whereas down here, see, it's creating that shadow as the light hits it and has to reflect off of that. So up here, nice clean finish, nowhere near as visible. So it's just something to think about when you do go to hang your first corner sheet, or hang any corner sheet, which way your light's coming makes a big difference. Next up, any power points in the wall that you're about to paper, make sure you isolate the room. So turn the power off at the switchboard, make sure you've got no power running to the power point, and then pull the little screws out so it's completely free. Alright, so what we're going to do when we bring our paper down this line, we're going to have to cut it out for our jib board. Okay, cut out to the edge of the jib board there, so our paper comes in behind the face of this. So when it goes back on the wall, it'll look clean, tidy, nice and neat. We're not going to cut around the PowerPoints, as it looks quite messy and quite horrible. Okay, so right, we're ready to wallpaper. So I've set up my wallpaper table. Basically, just my one is a old internal door with some black polythene covering it to keep it relatively waterproof. I've also got a drop cloth on the floor because it does get quite wet and can get a little bit messy, and you don't want your carpet, whatever's underneath, getting too wet. Okay, now what I do is, before I get any water involved, I measure out how many drops I want to do for the day. So for example, today I'm going to aim for 13, just a quick day. We're going to lay them all out, cut them to length, and then roll them back on themselves, so the opposite way to which they come in the packet, so the glue's facing outwards. Okay, so like this. Alright, so got the glue on the outside, glue facing towards the outside, and the pattern towards the inside. Okay, so I've got my 13 rolls ready to go, all pre-cut to 2.5 meters, because my drop is 2.4 meters. And this gives me sort of 50 mil to play with at each end, to cut the length, you know, get it nice finishing against the skirting and the scotia. So that's that. And then what we do, so we take a roll, got your wallpaper trough ready to go. Okay, it's filled with water. Now the bar there, that's simply to get the excess glue off. So what you do, place your paper with the lip into the water, flip that just up under there like that. Okay, now what you do is you just let that sit there for 10 to 15 seconds, and then we'll roll it out. And I'll show you rolling it out. So what you want to do, pull it out, roll it across your table like so, so it's up on the top, pull it back 1/3, lay it across itself. Take the other third, bring it back up on itself, and have it so it's just past your first bend. Okay, so that'll help you when you come to grab it. Now what you can do is take that, put it down somewhere, and roll another one out, because we want to leave these for about 5 or 6 minutes, as they do expand up to 5%. So you want them fully expanded before you put them up on the wall. Alright, so we're ready to go. We're ready to hang our first sheet in the corner. Now what I've done is I've picked it up as I've laid it on the table, just picked it up like that. Okay, pincer at the top. So what you want to do pretty soon after you get up on the ladder, drop your first lot like that. Okay, stand up on your ladder, working to your line you drew earlier. So line it up with that edge with your line, smooth it out so you get a good grip on the wall, and then just adjust your line down here as you go. Okay, so we're pretty well on the line there. You can sort of adjust the paper around just by using your hands. Alright, next thing you want is your brush. Start smoothing out the bubbles and adjusting your paper. Okay, so working down. Next thing to do is to press it into the corner, around the corner like so. Make sure it's well pressed in there. Okay, just use your fingers. Alright. So press it into the corner nicely. Any big bubbles, make sure you get rid of them. Press it into the top of your scotia, like so. And then just work from top to bottom. Alright, so we've pressed in nicely around that corner. Make sure it's hard in there. And while I'm up here, I'm going to finish this top edge. Now the tools you're going to need to trim up against doors and skirtings and scotias, you get a long blade like this, right? Basically jam it into the scotia, and then using a nice sharp craft knife. I generally use one blade per room, and snap it off as I go, so I always keep a nice sharp edge on the blade, so when you're trimming you don't tear or doesn't catch and rip. But basically jam that in and cut along the edge. I'll show you that in a minute. The other tool is a broad knife, putty knife. I quite like using one of these. I've never seen a paperer use them before, but they're good for getting out bubbles, as I'll show you in a minute, that the brush can't get out, as well as for trimming. So I'm going to use this one this time round. Come up here, start in the corner. Right, press it up into the corner like so, use your blade and trim away, just like that. Nice and neat. And what we'll do is we'll we'll adjust the piece around the corner because it sort of turns into a bit of a pig's ear. So we'll adjust that, make sure it's all nice and straight and square, then we'll press it in and cut that piece, just like so. We've got a little bit of a nib there just catching. Just like that. Right, nice and neat. I'll bring the camera in a minute and show you. Okay, so what you can do, just on a very shallow angle, don't want to go in steep or dig in the corners, just on a very shallow angle, just drag the blade backwards like that. You can see it smooths out very nicely. Gets rid of any glue bubbles or air bubbles, so it can be quite a pain. And I just work my way from the top to the bottom, just like that. You can also use it, if you're careful, to press into the corner, just gently. Make sure it's fully bedded in the corner. Right, we'll work our way down the sheet now. Come down, drop the next layer down like so, and then again line up with your line. So you want that line to be all the way down. Brush out any bubbles and creases. Right, so working our way to the bottom, just like that. Now just move your PowerPoint to one side like so, and just keep brushing towards the bottom, making sure you're lined up on that plumb line, just like that. Keep pressing it into the corner, right the way to the bottom. Right, so that PowerPoint's going to stop us getting our full length. So this one's quite an easy one because it's right on the edge of a sheet. So all we do, trim that out like so, right to the edge of the jib board cutout. Move that around, just like that, and then we can press that piece on nicely. Press the bottom into the skirting. Come around the corner. As you can see, we've got another pig's ear at the bottom. It's generally what happens. It's a nice tidy way to finish it off. So just twist it round like so. I'll actually bring it in so you can see. Down like that, make sure it's pressed in both ways. I'll start in the corner. Just press that down like so. Come around the corner. There you have it. Just fold that up so the glue doesn't get everywhere. Just press that in. And then once we're towards the bottom here, we'll bring the bubbles to the edge. As you can see, we've got quite a build-up of glue there. That's just excess glue. It can actually be quite handy because sometimes the edges start to dry quite quickly, especially in the hotter weather, and I just use it like so to really make sure the edges get done. We'll just smooth off the rest of this sheet like that. As you can see, got quite a build-up of glue there. Now it's handy to have a bucket with water and a cloth ready so you can catch it and wipe it down if you need to. See how much extra glue we got? And again, so we'll catch that, bring that rest out, and it just helps to smooth off the paper. Now also, before it dries, get in there with your cloth, wipe down the excess glue off the skirting. Whoopsie, push that back in. Right, wipe down any excess glue, and you also want to wipe down where the glue, where the paper was overlapping itself. Okay, because that's actually covered in glue still as well. So just give that a good wipe down. Get any excess glue off. Just like that. And we've still got a few little air bubbles in there, or glue bubbles. So I'll just keep working this sheet until we get rid of them. Alright, so we're on to the next sheet now. We're going to finish off this corner. So I'll show you how the lap works. Same again, grab your piece of paper like so, up on the ladder, drop it down. Okay, and once again I've set up my new mark. So there's the old mark from the previous paper hanger, here's my mark. Okay, so we'll just go up to the ceiling, line up with the plumb line, and place that on like that. Now this is a nice easy sheet, no obstructions, nothing to cut around, so it should go up pretty quickly. Press it in, grab your brush again, and then just start working from top to bottom. And just making sure you're lined up with your plumb line all the way down. This will make all the rest of your sheets nice and easy to do. A couple of small bubbles on this one, so just while we're here we'll brush them out. Alright, while we're there again, this time I'll show you how to use this one. Same procedure, just press it gently up into the corner. Alright, make sure you press nice and firmly in, and the paper's bedded into the corner nicely. And then one swift cut straight across like that. Okay. While we're up there, wipe it down. And then just give it a blade off with this. Any excess glue. Unfold it and then line it up with the line again, right the way down. Brush it out, just like that. Couple more small bubbles on this side, so we'll just brush them out while we're here. They seem to sometimes appear for a little while after you've put your sheet on. Just keep that in mind. We'll brush that one out as much as we can, all the way down. Press the join together and then press it along the bottom like so. Okay, once again, taking your blade into the skirting. Not quite. Fold that over. As you can see, I'm getting a little bit of glue squirting out here. I quite often do this towards the join, so you do get a good amount of glue behind it. It doesn't end up peeling back on itself. So you can squeeze a little bit of glue out that side and then wipe it down with your cloth, just like that. And then just wipe off any excess glue again with the cloth. As well as not forgetting to give the bottom half a wipe down, take all the glue off the face. The big glue bubble there. That's a big one. There's plenty of glue on these pre-pasted sheets. I seem to over glue them, which isn't a bad thing. It just means you've got to be careful with your finishing. There you have it. Nice and tidy. We'll bring you in for a closer look. You'll see what I mean about that shadow I was talking about. You can see I've cut around the power point Nice tidy cut into the skirting, and then coming up the edge here. You can't even tell there's a join there. Right, that's our join just there. Right, a little bit of a glue bubble there. Just smooth that out. Okay, as you can see, you can barely even see the join. Next we'll show you how to join two sheets on the same wall, like so. So the next sheet will butt up to this one, for example, or on the side will butt up to this side. Okay, we'll show you how to do that and get a nice neat finish. Alright, so we'll go again. This time we'll show you how to do a butt join. Bring it up to the ceiling, as close as you can, just move it over slightly into the paper. Alright, and line it up for the first 600 or 700 mil. Okay, so it's very close. And from there, smooth out your paper, like so, up into the ceiling, right down to that first join. Then what you do, just ease it, just gently push pressure and massage it across, like so, until the join is pretty well tight. What you can do is press it so the two bits of paper start to come up off the wall like so, start to sort of press up against each other, and then just press them back down again, and it gives you a nice tight fit. Okay, same over here, and just do that all the way down. Nice tight fit. Yeah. Press it up into the wall, take our blade, wipe down the scotia, just like that. So as you can see, we've got a pretty good join there. And what I'll do, using the blade, okay, I will gently bring them together like that, and it forces the glue to come into the join and seals it nicely. Okay, so do that. And then just run your finger. Some people like to use a rubber roller to press the joins together. I just generally use my fingers because I can feel and then see where the ridge is. Just like that. It's hardly noticeable. And what we do is we just keep massaging the glue and the air bubbles out. Okay, like so. All the way down, right the way down, and then we just keep working the rest of the paper. So as you can see, the top's basically finished. That will dry off and you'll hardly even see the join. Pick that out from behind, line it up. Line it up nicely with our other sheet, and then press it out. A little bit Too much paper there. So bring that down, bring it across into the joint like that. All the way down so you get to the bottom. So you can see we've got a lot of excess glue on that front of that sheet. It's a very pasty sheet. Just give it a wipe off, get rid of any excess. Press our join together. Like so. A lot of excess glue on the back of this sheet. I've just spotted a bubble over here, so I'll get rid of that. As you can see, a whole bunch of excess glue. Then we'll cut the bottom off, press the bottom into the skirting using our blade, cut that all back, and then like so. Get rid of the excess glue again. You can see you do spend a lot of time wiping this stuff down. So if you don't get rid of the glue, it can turn yellow. Now it looks horrible. We're after a nice, clean, neat finish here, just like that. Wipe down the whole face of this lower portion. I'll give it one more feather off. Another bubble of glue, get rid of that. Just like so. Alright, so I've come along the wall that I was papering, and I've come to this PowerPoint here, which is going to be smack bang in the middle of a sheet. So I thought I'd stop and show you guys. Right, I've hung the top of the sheet, it's all ready to go. Now I've got to unfold it and bring it down and then over and around the PowerPoint. I just thought I'd show you how to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is unfold this piece like so. Okay, now you want to keep it pretty well in line with that, as long as you're within a millimetre or so for now. Right, and what we do, using our brush, of course make sure the power's off, still off, you haven't turned it back on. Right, so PowerPoint's fully pulled out from the wall. What we want to do, bring down our paper like so. Over the top. Now you can see the indent of the cutout there. So what I'm going to do, knife is just protruding. I'm going to cut that through like that. I'll start the vertical cuts like so. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll start bringing it over, come down that side of the hole to the bottom, make sure the knife's in enough so that it's sitting on the jibboard, so when it comes down and hits the jibboard you can feel the bottom of the hole. Then we'll just start the cut out for the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that across. You don't want to come too far, don't want to cut out too much, otherwise you'll end up with a gaping hole. So I'm just going to bring that down, bring the two cuts together, just gently, like so. That's our cutout. What we do, bring the PowerPoint through the hole like that, and voila. Finish working the rest of the paper, bring it across to your join, like so, and then we can cut the bottom as we normally would with our knife. Okay, so I'll just finish working on this piece, get it set up, and then as I said before, work around cutting out around the window. Alright, so I've done that sheet with the PowerPoint in it. I've also come around the corner here and done my lap sheet. Okay, now once again, due to my light source coming directly in the window, hitting this wall this way, my lap is around the corner this way, and my next sheet will go on there to minimise the shadow down this corner. Okay, so what happens though is this sheet here isn't actually a full sheet, it's not a full width. So we measure from edge of this existing one into the corner and minus 10 millimeters. So my measurement from here to here is 370 millimeters, and what I'll do is I'll lay that sheet out on a table, mark it out nice and neat, and cut it with some scissors or a sharp knife and a straight edge, and then I'll work to this edge here, and then the cut edge will be down this edge here. And because it's lapped, and it's lapped in the manner it is with the light coming in this way, it'll be very minimal, you'll ever see the cut. It'll hide it quite nicely. So that's how we do a corner piece and overlap it while finishing an entire wall, as you can see. Okay. Alright, so what's next is I've come around the corner and I've done one full sheet, and I've placed another full sheet of cuts alongside it, above and below the window. Right, now basically we need to reset our plumb line now that we're able to do a full floor to ceiling line. So what I've done is I've measured that out, and that's 450 millimeters from the existing paper up there. Okay, so what that means is our next sheet's actually going to overlap these, and I'll show you how to cut that real nice and neat, so it basically looks like a factory cut. and it will reset our paper for the rest of this wall. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go grab that sheet next, and we'll throw it on. Right, so throw that down. We work to our plumb line on this side over here. So we line it up, bring that across, smooth out all the air bubbles. And now you can see I've got about a 75mm lap over here. So you push that up into the scotia, start brushing out the air bubbles. And once again, on a sheet like this, work from top to bottom. You'll find it much easier. So that top's basically ready to cut, but I'll just leave it for the moment. So what you do to cut around a window or any sort of opening, a doorway, whatever, you can feel the edge of the window there and down there. Okay, what you want to do is find the top point up here, take your knife into that top point, and then just pull the paper out just enough so you don't mark the wood behind, and then give it a cut on the 45. What that allows you to do is to fold that piece back against the wall like so, and then fold that piece down the side there. Okay, I'll bring you in. Alright, so as you can see, bring that back out again like so, feel along to the corner, put your knife in, cut down on the 45, and what that allows you to do is press that corner back just gently like so, and then when you're ready, when you work your way down and you've got the entire sheet like that pressed into the corners, you can get your blade like so, then run your knife down that edge there and cut it off. Okay, and that will create the finish around the window. And just make sure you press out any of the air bubbles and stuff like that. Make sure it's all fitted nicely before you do any of the cutting. Okay, and then I'll show you how to cut the overlap to match. Okay, so what I'll do is bring you in down over here, and I'll show you how to do this bottom edge again. Right, so brought our sheet down all the way down, and as you can see it's sort of stopping me from finishing off. So what I do, find that edge like so, just bring the paper just away from the wall a bit and cut up on the edge like so. Okay, so as you can see, find the window edge, grab your knife, cut the paper, and that allows you to do that. Okay, you can see the overlap of the paper, the crease underneath, and then essentially from there that allows you to trim your paper off like so. Okay, easy as. Right, so I'll finish this bottom piece of the paper. There's one. Just like that. Now as you can see, we've got an overlap here of about 75mm. We want to get rid of that. So what I do, holding my blade like so, my putty blade, score right the way through into both sheets, so you're cutting right the way through. Okay, keep your blade nice and square, then just bring it slowly down. What I do is I allow half an overlap after your first cut, so you cut down and then I allow half the blade cut like that, so I can line it up here and I ensure I'm getting a nice straight cut. Bottom piece sometimes doesn't like being cut, so you just have to be careful with it. Just press it in and then gently cut. And what you can do is peel the top layer away, and what you need to do, peel back that layer, just take away my blades are getting a bit dull, so I need a new blade on there in a minute. Take that away, pull down the back cut. Oh, the blade is quite dull. Okay, so my camera's about to go out of focus and I lose the shot. But as you can see, I've peeled off the outside piece. Then what you do is you peel back that layer and peel off the small cut you've also just made in behind it. Now we'll take you in and I'll show you the shot of the join, and as you can see it looks quite good. All you do is once you've peeled off your two cuts, you press the two big pieces together and you can hardly even see the join. Well guys, that's the basics of wallpapering. Everything I've shown you today, you should be able to give it a go yourself. You should be able to complete an entire room just with the tips I've given you. Don't be afraid to give it a go. It can be a bit daunting at first, but once you get into it, easy to pick up. Thanks for watching. Hope you've liked the video. Please like and share. Cheers.